Hi, this is Emily Filmore, and I'm here to share with you some of my myositis life. I'm going to introduce you to some of my family members and show you some of the things that I do to keep a beautiful and rich life. In this project, I hope to show you that even though I have had myositis for more than 20 years, it does not have me. I have a beautiful life. I have a wonderful family, and I enjoy many things about my life. Even though I wish I didn't have dermatomyositis, I have found ways to have wonderful experiences outside of it. And I hope that other people are able to find the same kind of quality of life in spite of their physical limitations. One of the things that I have really worked hard to encourage other people to do is to find joy and pleasure in the little things in life. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't have my struggles. My husband and I have encountered many financial difficulties due to my disease. We're having them today, as a matter of fact. We face physical issues with me. I use a cane at times. We've had to move from our dream home because, for one thing, it was a 2-story house and I was having difficulty with the 2 stories, but it was also too far away from his work, so we had to move to be closer to his job so that he could get home easier on days that I was having trouble. So really, it has impacted every aspect of our lives. He does the majority of the housework, unfortunately, even though he works over 90 hours a week, most weeks, as an attorney. Things just aren't typical around our house. And I carry a lot of guilt with me because of that. But fortunately, he's very supportive, and I don't get a lot of anger or stress from him directed towards me because of that. He's very loving and supportive and understanding, and I wish that everybody could experience that. You'll meet him in a little while. He's really great. One of the things that I have really tried to instill in the people that I meet is that you control how you feel about your disease. We can't always control the physicalness of our diseases, but we can control what we think about the disease. And so I've tried really hard not to become a victim of the disease. I try not to think in negative terms such as struggle. I think of myself as a thriver instead of a victim. I think of the word thriving. I thrive with the disease rather than sufferer. And so I hope that other people can do that as well. One of the things that came out of my disease is this wonderful book that I wrote. It's called The Marvelous Transformation: Living Well with Autoimmune Disease. And I think that a lot of people that I've talked to that have read it have really enjoyed it. And I wanted to share with you just one little excerpt from it. In it, I have these sections called The Wonderful Pieces of Divinity that I've found. And these are in the chapter called Diagnosis: Shifting Realities. Humor is your friend. Appreciate the little things. Sometimes your mood comes down to a choice. Do you want to be happy or sad today? People help you as a way of showing love when they feel helpless against your disease. You may not control your disease, but you control how you think and feel about it. Therefore, you control your experience. That's just a little bit of the recipe that I use every day in order to not allow the disease control who I am. And I hope that you can take from that and maybe help you deal with it a little bit differently today. I also want to show you just a couple more things about my myositis life, which are the ways that I have dealt with my life. So I was in law school when I was finally diagnosed. Even though I was 19 when I first got sick, it took quite a long time for me to be diagnosed. And I was never able to fully practice law because I was too sick. So being a stay-at-home mom, mainly because of my illness, I started writing. I had always written, and I had always done art, but I started writing children's books. So let's see, there it is. My very first book was It's a Beautiful Day for Yoga. I did the illustrations, And then the second one was, it's a beautiful day for a walk. And these are really part of my myositis life because they were really an outpouring of the life that I was building as part of the consciousness that came about of not being able to be out in the world the way that I had always envisioned. And so in those things that I read you about, being more present in your life, I became a more present parent, and I realized that I was stopping to smell the roses, literally stopping to smell the roses with my daughter. I was taking the time to really and truly be with her in every moment. And the yoga book was the first book, and the way that it came about was I was trying to do yoga one day, and at 2 years old or 3 years old, Sage, my daughter, was getting underneath me and wouldn't let me do yoga. And yoga was one of the ways that I was really working to try to stay healthy. And so instead of getting angry with her, I wrote a poem to help her do yoga with me. And that is how this beautiful book came to be. So, all hope is not lost. If you can't do the things that you always envisioned, make a new vision. Make a new dream for yourself, and don't be stuck with the things that you always thought you were going to do. The final book that I want to show you, my most recent book. So the 2 children's books came out in 2009 and 2010, and then The Marvelous Transformation came out in July of last year in 2015, and then another book came out then in November, which was another labor of love. It's called Conversations with God for Parents, and this is really special to me because I wrote it with Neale Donald Walsch, who is an internationally best-selling author, and I also wrote it with another lady named Lori Lincoln Farley, and the 3 of us wrote it together. It was a labor of love. It took quite a few years to write because if you can imagine, when you have 3 people with strong opinions writing a book together, it takes consciousness and presence and the love of children, and it puts all of that together. And so my myositis life is really about following my passion from a place of nothing worked out the way I thought it was going to. And I found a new way of being, and I found a new way of embracing life, and I found a new way of expressing who I am inside differently than I ever imagined was possible. And I know it's hard. I know it's so frustrating to people when we aren't who we hoped we were going to be. But I hope that when people see this video and when people see other Myositis Life projects, that they can be inspired to know that myositis doesn't have to define everything about you. It doesn't have to determine the rest of your life. And yes, it does change things, but it doesn't have to stop you from having dreams. It doesn't have to stop you from being who you were meant to be, because every single one of us on this planet are beautiful light beings, and we all deserve to have wonderful, enjoyable experiences. And even if you are locked inside of a body that isn't working for you the way that you hoped, you still can find ways to enjoy life. And that's my wish for you today. So thank you for listening. I'm going to introduce you now to my beautiful family, and I hope that you will enjoy the next couple of minutes. Please take care of yourselves. Join us at understandingmyositis.org, where I am the Vice President of Myositis Support and Understanding. We do everything we can to help educate and support myositis patients on their journey and encourage patients to be their best selves, both through support and educating them about their diseases so that they can get the best care possible from their doctors. Thank you. Hi, I'm back, and I wanted you to meet my husband, Scott. He's a big part of my myositis life. Want to say hi?
Hello.
You want to tell him a little bit about yourself?
I've been married to Emily for a little over 10 years, and I am an attorney here in town, and I've been doing that for about 14 years, and I'm a dad.
And a lot of the reason that I have adjusted so well to having dermatomyositis is because he is always supportive of me. We just, in the last couple of days, wrote an article together about what it's like to be a spouse of someone with myositis. So I'll post the link to that with the video so that you can see how Scott has handled being a supportive spouse, and it's really a great article with great information in it. So here's my hubby. I love him. In the background you can see my daughter Sage skating. Part of my, there she goes again. I think that's her. Yep, there she is. A big part of my myositis life is that we spend about 5 or 6 days at the rink. She is an avid figure skater and competes in the spring and the summer. I don't get to move a lot because my dermatomyositis has made it very difficult for me to have much of an active life. But in a lot of ways, I get to feel the freedom of movement through her, and I'm really grateful for that. I enjoy getting to watch her reach for the stars and pursue her dreams, and I really enjoy and am grateful for getting to watch her do that. It's so much fun. I have a little clip for you of her here in a second that I'm going to show you because it's a really big part of my myositis life.
Hi, I'm Sage.
As you can probably tell, I'm really attached to all of my family, and I enjoy spending time with them. The next person I want you to meet is Ricky. He is my nephew. He lives with us, and he is a beautiful soul who has decided that his life's passion is to heal other people.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I'm Emily's nephew. I'm a massage therapist, and this is my space.
I think you can see that I have a really full and beautiful life. It's not always perfect. I don't always feel great, but I make the best of it, and I have beautiful people around me to help me make sure that I do. I truly hope that you can find a way to make sure that your myositis life is filled with beauty as well. Take up a new hobby. Find something that you love doing. It's that simple. You don't have to let your disease define who you are. Have a wonderful day.